ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। सुखं नित्यं स्वप्रकाशं व्यापकं नामरूपयोः अधिष्ठानं बुद्ध्यबोध्यं बुद्धेर्दृग्यत्तु निर्मलम् अपारं सर्ववेदान्त वेद्यं प्रत्यक्परं महः तदेवाहं न मत्तोऽन्यत् इति मे निश्चिता मतिः। वस्तु निर्देशात्मक मंगलाचरण was done. While explaining each and every word of that Vastu Nirdeshatmaka Mangalacharana, it was explained, I am that Brahman which is Sukham Nityam. Nityam Sukham. You can take these words separately and together as well. Sukham, of the nature of happiness, Nityam, eternal, that which exists in all three periods of time, Swaprakasham, that which is self-evident, self-effulgent, Namarupayoho Adhishthanam, basis of Nama and Rupa, name and form, Buddhya Bodhyam, that which cannot be known by intellect as an object, Buddhehe Druk, but it is Sakshi, if you want to translate in English, witness consciousness. Buddhehe Druk Sakshi, Nirmalam, without any impurities, Aparam, that which is limitless, Vedanta Vedyam, that which is known through Vedanta as Pramana by means of knowledge, take Vedanta being taken as means of knowledge, Pratyak, that which is innermost, that which is me, myself, Param, that which is Shrestha, the, and Mahaha, that which is luminous, lustrous. I am that Tadeva Aham Mattaha Anyat Na. Nothing else exists other than me. While analyzing each and every word, we saw Buddhya Abodhyam, it cannot be known by intellect as an object. What do we mean by it cannot be known as an object? That was explained. For knowledge to take place, any word gives us knowledge in two different ways. One is via direct meaning and implied meaning. Lakshana and Shabdasya Shakti. Abhidha, direct meaning and implied meaning. And by implied meaning of words alone, Brahman can be known. We analyze that. What is implied meaning? We saw the example, I am broke. That does not mean that I have been separated into two pieces, but I don't have any money. That has been implied. That is the understanding. Like, then, for Brahman to be known or to know Brahman as my Swarupa, my buddhi should be devoid of any mala and vikshepa. We saw mala and vikshepa, that are the impurities which hinder for in knowledge taking place. What is mala? Mala can be exactly defined as durita, past uh, karma, the effect of purva karma, because of which knowledge doesn't take place, that can be removed by actions in this life and repeated shravana manana nididhyasana. It has also been explained in a different way as asambhavana adi dosha. What are asambhavana adi dosha? That will be taken up in this text itself. But what is that? It is not having shraddha in the means that I have taken up. Even though Vedanta is trying to say I am Brahman, I don't believe in Vedanta. Even though I understand, I find it difficult to believe in. I accept Vedanta is Pramana. Vedanta is going to tell me that I am Brahman. And Vedanta alone can tell me. But still, how can it be possible I have doubts? And because of these doubts, jnana, knowledge does not take place. Then, how to remove these? Bhashya quotation was given. Acharya Upadesha Shastra Acharya Upadesha Shamadamadi Sanskritam Manaha. Sanskritam purified. What is purification? Anything, what is pure in general? An object is pure when nothing other than that object is there in that object. That object is that alone and nothing else is there. That is the purity. If we are to say gold, it is 100% pure, it is pure. That means no other metal exists in that particular bar of gold. In purification, that which is something else, mala, that is removed, at the same time the guna, its intrinsic qualities, they are improved by shama, dama, adi sadhana. All this mala is removed, and by shastra, acharya, upadesha, teachings of Vedanta, Shastra, and Guru, that which I know myself, I know it directly. Having understood thus, we were analyzing, okay, for knowledge to take place, you need two steps. One is vritti vyapti and another is phala vyapti. And for knowledge of Brahman to take place, only vritti vyapti is enough. Phala vyapti is not required. What do you mean vritti vyapti alone is enough? Phala vyapti is not required. Please explain. We saw. Let's read this text part and let's see the example that we saw last time again. किंतु अंधकारे घटादि आवृत्त रत्न प्रदीपादिः यथा घटादि स्वावरण भंगे स्वयमेव प्रकाशते एवं अहम ब्रह्मास्मि इति प्रमाणजन्य प्रमारूप वृत्तिः ब्रह्मावरक अज्ञान नाशमात्रं करोति ब्रह्म तु बुद्ध्यादि साधनांतर निरपेक्षमेव स्वसंबद्ध सर्वावभासकत्व रूप स्वयं ज्योतिष्वेन नित्य अपरोक्ष रूपत्वात् स्वयं प्रथते. Whenever there are all these long big sentences, how do we understand? Easy. First, find out kriyapada, a verb in that sentence. Swayam prathate. It shines forth. What shines forth? Brahma. that Brahman shines forth. What do you mean it shines forth? It is known. What this example is, बुद्ध्यादि साधनांतर निरपेक्षम एव स्वसंबद्ध सर्व अवभासकत्व रूप स्वयं ज्योतिष्वेन. Even though the words are big, let's break them down and understand. Brahman shines forth by itself. So is there something else for which you need illumination? Yes, that has been explained in the earlier part of the sentence. Kintu, but andhakare, in darkness, ghatadi avrutta, avrutta, covered, ghatadi, covered by a pot, etc. What has been covered by a pot? Ratna pradipadihi, a gem or a lamp, a gem or a lamp that has been lit, that has been covered by a pot. When you remove that pot, yatha, when ghatadi swa avarana bhange, ghatadi swa avarana, what is the covering over that lamp or the gem or jewel? The ghata. When that avarana bhange, when that avarana is removed, swayameva prakashate, that lamp will shine forth or jewel will shine forth by itself. You don't need to bring forth any light or any other source of light to see that lamp or jewel. On the contrary, if any vastu which is not self-luminous or self-evident, for that object you need another source of light. What was the example that we saw? We saw the example of mobile phone in a dark room. When the alarm starts ringing, you just have to lift the book under which that mobile phone is, and when you remove that book, the mobile is evident. But say for example, if that mobile phone is not ringing, so it is not emitting light, and you have to find that mobile, then removing or lifting the book under which that mobile is not enough. You have to turn on the light in that room, or you have to have another source of light which will illumine that mobile. Evam, see Bhashya, similarly, in this way, aham brahmasmi iti pramanajanya pramarupa vrittihi. Aham brahmasmi iti vrittihi. A vritti conforming to a thought, that is, I am Brahman. And how has that been generated? Pramanajanya, born out of pramana or pramana vyapara, by using means of knowledge. And what type of vritti is that? Pramarupa vritti, vritti in form of knowledge, jnana vritti. And what will that vritti do? What will that thought do? Brahmavaraka ajnana nasha matram karoti. See the similarity. Ajnana nasha matram ghatadi swavarana bhange. Uncovering, removing that which is covering an object is avarana bhanga. So for knowledge to take place, to see an object, primarily a vritti vyapti, thought conforming to that particular object, must take place, which will remove avarana of that particular object. And then If that object is jada, not self-effulgent, you need to have other source of light or chetana, that is Brahman. And if it is Brahman itself, Brahmatu, what happens in case of Brahma? Buddhyadi sadhanantar nirapekshameva. It is nirapeksha, it does not expect buddhi adi sadhana for its illumination. What does it do? Swasambandha, those which are connected to that Brahman, sarva avabhasakatva rupa, that Brahman itself will illumine all the other objects. Like the lamp will illumine all the objects in a room. When lamp comes in contact with objects in the room, it will illumine all the objects in that room. Similar, why Brahman is capable of doing that? Swayam Jyotishtvena, it is Swayam Jyoti, Swaprakasha, and not just that, Nitya Aparoksha Rupatvat. It is Nitya Aparoksha, it is direct me, myself. In short, let's understand Brahman. For knowledge of Brahman to take place and for knowledge of object to take place, what are the differences? Let's take for an example this watch. To see this watch, first I have to remove the book under which that watch is, and a light should shine on this watch. Removal of this book is avarana nasha, and avarana nasha will take place by vritti vyapti. Then because of light it should get illumined, that is phala vyapti. Even though we are taking vritti vyapti and phala vyapti separate, they are happening at the same time simultaneously. Now what happens in case of Brahman? Because Brahman is self-evident, swaprakasha, you just have to remove avarana. How avarana is removed? Avarana gets removed when tat tadakara vritti, thought modification pertaining to the object that is to be known takes place. Thus, when brahmakara vritti, what type of brahmakara vritti? Aham brahmasmi, I am Brahman, born out of Vedanta Pramana Mahavakya. How that Mahavakya has been understood in Shravana? By Lakshana Vritti, implied meaning. Such Vritti takes place, and the mind in which that Vritti takes place is free from Mala and Vikshepa. Then that Brahmakara Vritti Ajnana Nasha Matram Karoti. That vritti is not going to illumine or make us know that Brahman. What that vritti is going to do? It is going to remove ajnana nasha, only avarana. And when that avarana is removed, Brahman, which is my swarupa, which is me, myself, which is self-evident, will shine forth. But you have been saying self-luminous, me, myself, self-evident. How do we understand these words? Let me give you an example. Say, four friends are traveling in a train. One of them is Ramlal. Now somebody comes looking for him and asks each of his friend, "Do you know Ramlal?" What would be their replies? First person will say, "Yes, I know Ramlal." If you ask second person, "Do you know Ramlal?" He will also say, "Yes, I know Ramlal." Third person, if he asks third person, "Do you know Ramlal?" He also will say, "I know Ramlal." But when he asks Ramlal himself, what should Ramlal say? Should he say, "I know Ramlal" or "I am"? Of course, he is going to say, "I am," not "I know." And what is that "I am"? That is self evident. We know it each and every moment, all the time, but we know that Brahman with its upadhi, with vikshepa impurities associated with it. Those upadhi which are or those impurities vikshepa which are due to ignorance, when they get removed, Brahman as itself will be known. To explain this, Brahmanaha iti Brahmanaha Swaprakashatva idam Visheshanam. To explain this nature of Brahman, and thus this Visheshana characteristic attribute of Brahman was told, explained. What was that? Swaprakasham. Now, Buddhya Bodhyam was explained, Swaprakasham was explained. Again, it is further explained. Punascha tad Brahma katham bhutam. And again, what is the nature of that Brahma? Nirmalam, malarahitam, shuddham. It is pure without any impurities. How do you say it is devoid of any impurities? Simple. For impurities to exist, those need to exist different from that object. For example, on a white cloth, what is an impurity? Any stain is an impurity because stain exists different from white cloth, it is an impurity. But if Brahman alone is there, if there is nothing else other than Brahman, is there any possibility for impurity to exist in that Brahman? No. And then alone, when an object alone is and nothing else exists, then alone that particular thing can be truly said to be nirmala. Otherwise, it cannot be nirmala without any impurity. Malarahita. Here in Tika, it has been explained Maya tatkarya rahitatvat nirmalam. What is the biggest impurity? Maya and Maya Karya. What is Maya? What is Maya Karya? It is going to come. But to see in as an example, if let's take an example. While walking on the road, you see few coins lying down. You think somebody has dropped his money. Now you go there and you understand it was not money, but it was a wrapper of a chocolate or a candy, silvery wrapping. What was the problem? First, you did not see, the object as it is, and you saw that object as something else. Not seeing object as it is because of Maya, and seeing as something else is Maya Karya. Similarly, seeing the world not as it is, as Brahma Swarupa, is Ajnana Maya, and seeing it as real, different from Brahman, is Maya Karya. Do these Maya and Maya Karya exist in that Brahman? It is said no, because nothing else exists. Brahman is pure, Nirmala, without any Maya and Maya Karya. It is said now, Aparam. Param na vidyate. Para, boundaries. It doesn't have any type of boundary. What are the boundaries that we experience all the time? It is said, Desha, Kala, Vastu, Aparichinnancha bhavati. Parichinna, Parichinna, having a certain shape or having limitation. Aparichinna, without any limitation. Limitations of what, or what type of limitations? Desha, Kala, Vastu. Desha, a place or space, sometimes it has been translated. Kala, time, and Vastu, object. What is Desha Parichinnata? Right now, I am sitting in my room and you are sitting in your room. I have been limited by this place, this space. I cannot exist everywhere. Forget about being somewhere else. While I am sitting on this chair, I can't be sitting on the chair which is in front of me. That is the limitation of space. We, with this body, are limited by space. Before I was born, I did not exist, and after my death, I will not be there. So I am limited by time. There is some point of time where my existence starts, and at some point of time, my existence stops. It goes away. That is Kala Parichinnata. And what is Vastu Parichinnata? Seeing something as an object, knowing something different from me. All these three does not exist in Brahman. Brahman is Desha, Kala, Vastu, Aparichinna. Now somebody may ask, we understood, okay, but why do you want to give so many characteristic features? The purpose of giving all these particular characteristic features, these many characteristic features, is being explained now. अथ विशेषणानां प्रत्येकं प्रयोजनम उच्यते. Prayojanam, the reason behind giving all these particular characteristics differently and together is being explained now. Here, author is taking two characteristics together and explaining why they are to be taken together, and what will happen if we take them independently. Actually, it is not required in a sense to be taken together, because the meaning is self evident to us. But if question is raised, then to clarify and to come to the exact knowledge, we need to have these other Visheshanas also. What do you mean? Let's take an example. How do you define an object? Let us say you are to define this watch. The watch which is in my hand, it is analogous watch. What do you mean analogous? Which has three hands. One is seconds, one which tells me about seconds, one tells about minutes, and one tells about hours. It is an analogous clock. Okay. How will you define this watch? An object which tells me about time. Is this enough? No, because there might be other objects like sundial, etc., which also tell me about time. I can see sunrise, I can see the position of sun, and I can infer what the time may be. So that which tells me about time is not enough. Okay, that which has hands, so many things have hands. My chair also has hands. I have hands. Does that mean that is a watch or that is a clock? No. Even though those particular characteristic features in general point out that particular thing, those characteristics independently are not enough to give the exact knowledge without any doubts of that particular object. So an object which can be worn on hand, which has its hand itself, which inform me about time, a definition something like that can be prepared, can be made to explain what a watch is. In Nyaya Darshana, in Nyaya school of philosophy, or even in Darshana itself, it is meticulously, everything has been defined meticulously. There are three things which are to be considered before you define anything. And this is not for Vedanta alone, but in our Vyavahara, in our day to day life, also these things are important. What are the three things? Whenever you are defining an object, whenever you are defining something, you have to understand three things: avyapti, ativyapti, and asambhava. Why am I taking this if you ask? Because these words are going to be repeated in the bhashya which we are going to see. Avyapti. Avyapti is, or alpavyapti it has also been called, narrowly defining. If I say a object which is silver in color, or the classical example which is taken, if you are to define what is a cow, and which is an interesting question, even if I ask you who know this thing, who are familiar with this may know, but if I ask in general, define me what is a cow. गाय क्या है? What is cow? You can't just say that which is black in color or white in color, because if I say cow which is white in color, cows which are of different colors, which is black or which is red, they get excluded. I can't say that which has horns, because if I say that which has horns, the problem is even other animals such as buffalo, deer, they also have horns. If I say that which has that which is an ungulate. Ungulate is a type of mammals, those which run on their toes. In Sanskrit, it has been said shafa. English, if you want to translate, odd toed and even toed. Those which have one or three number of toes, one or even toed, even number of toes. Now cow is even toed. It has two hooves. If you see two toes. Two, if you see its footprint, you will see there are two toes or like two finger like impression. But in case of animals such as elephant etc. or rhino etc., they are not even toed but odd toed. So if I just say shuffle, odd toed, ungulate, then that is not possible in cow itself, even though it is an ungulate, a type of animal. Is it not? Then what is the exact definition of a cow? That which has sasna, a skin under its neck which connects to its chest. That is not there in other animals. When you define cow in that way, there is no doubt what a cow is. Cow is that which has sasna. Similarly, you may say sukham, you may say nityam. Okay, there are many other things which have also been defined as sukham or nityam by someone else. Will I not confuse this Brahman with those? No. For not to confuse with those objects, understand Brahman with these characteristics in this way. Let's say first, author takes together Sukham Nityam, or simply Nityam Sukham, that which is of the nature of eternal happiness, happiness which will exist all the time and which will not go away. Sukhasya nityatva visheshananupadane. If you then don't take sukha with nitya, what will happen? Vaishayike samaye sukhe. The Vaishayika Sukha, Sukha which is gained from experience of Vishaya, desired object. When you experience a desired object, at that time also you experience happiness, Sukha. Does that mean the Sukha which is experienced there, that is Brahman, which is Samaya, which is with impurities, which is limited? No. नैयायिकाभिमते आत्मगुणे आनंदे. Nayyayika, Nyaya, a school of thought. Darshana, Nyaya Darshana. I am not going to explain what is school of thought, but understand as we have Vedanta, Darshana, similarly there are 6 different schools of thought or systems of philosophy. Better translation is school of thought in Vedanta, in our mm, tradition or in our dharma, and all of these take same three: Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra as pramana. But everybody has inquired in different ways, and depending on inquiry they have come to different conclusion. Depending on differences in inquiry and differences in conclusion, they have been categorized into 6 different types. One of them is Nyaya Darshana. Nyaya Darshana, it says, Atma Gune Anandecha. Ananda or Sukha is Guna, a quality of Atma. When it becomes a quality, again it becomes limited. But when you say Nitya, what happens? Tadupadane tu Vishayanandasya Atmagunasya cha Anandasya Anityatva Prasiddhehe. When you take Nitya with the word Sukham, instead of taking Sukham alone, when you take the word Nitya also, what happens is विषयानंद being अनित्यत्व प्रसिद्धेः, being known as limited by time, anitya which perishes, or atma gunasya cha anandasya, ananda which is quality of atma which is also limited, they are removed. Na ativyapti, ativyapti, they are not incorporated in this definition. When they are not taken into account, when you say sukham nityam, nityam sukham, so using nitya word with sukha, the misunderstanding that vaisheka sukha can be Brahman, or Atma, which has been defined by Nyaya Darshana, where Ananda is quality of that, those doubts are removed. Next, author takes Nitya with Swaprakasham. Now explaining Nitya. You can't take Nitya independently. Why? नित्यत्व मात्रोक्तौ न्यायमत सिद्ध कालाकाशादि काल आकाशादि नित्य पदार्थेषु अतिव्याप्तेः तद्वारणाय स्वप्रकाशम इति. If you just say nitya, it is eternal, then a doubt can be raised. Okay, so do you mean to say that Brahman is three different things? What do you mean? Dik, Kal, Akash. In Nyaya Darshana, they take three things as nitya: Kala, Akasha, and Dik. Now, if you take these three as nitya, then do you mean to say all these are Brahman? No. Why? Because it is also that which is Brahman, it is also Swaprakasha, self-evident, Chaitanya Swarupa. Kala, Akasha, etc., even though they have been defined as Nitya. Again, let me just say this one more time. Even though they are defined as Nitya, it is not necessary they are Nitya. Even though they are defined as Nitya, it is not necessary they are Nitya in Nyaya Darshana. Why is it not? Why it is so? Is a totally different topic. But don't keep this doubt in mind. That's the only thing. अतिव्याप्तेः तद्वारणाय स्वप्रकाशम इति. All these are not swaprakasho. So Brahman is not Kala, Akasha, etc. It is being explained. Akashadinam nityatvepi. Even though Akasha, etc. are nitya, they may exist by definition in all three periods of time. In the mata of Nyaya, in the Nyaya Darshana, Tesham Jadatvena, because they are Jada, Swaprakashatva Abhavat, and they are not Swaprakasha. When you say that Brahman which is Nitya and Swaprakasha, that Brahman will not be confused with Kala, Akasha, etc. But sir, earlier also you said it is what is Jada, Swaprakasha, Chetana. What do you mean by that? Simple. An object is Jada when it does not know itself or does not know anything else other than itself. An object is Jada when it does not know itself and anything other than it. And on something is Chetana when it knows itself and something else also. That which knows itself and knows some everything else is swaprakasha, and that which does not know itself or anything else is jada. Jadatvena, kala, akasha, etc. are jada. They are not swaprakasha because they don't know anything else. Thus, Brahman is not kala, akasha, etc. All the characteristics which were in Mangalacharana, they are going to be paired and explained, but those explanations we will see in the next class. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु, समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु, समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. हरिः ॐ. श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ॐ.